can be on time and all nice and professional and clean, and Jay's totally not asleep. Smile. What do you mean,
Damn, girl, what do you want from me?
Maybe, like most fucking females, I want attention. You ever think about that, Jay?
Oh, wow. Holy crap.
Listen,
That's a
dig at me this time. No, like, females just in general and inherently, because, okay, this also ties into a story.
You should just start recording just randomly. Just females in general. That should be the start of the podcast.
Actually, I just pressed start like 45 seconds ago, so all of this will be on the recording.
Let's go.
Awesome. That's awesome. I love this job.
So, okay, so the reason I bring it up, because I think it's funny how if you tell that to another female, well, most of the females, and you'd be like, well, you know, women just really, really want attention. A lot of them be like, nuh-uh. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. As the female representative of all females that ever femaled, this is the truth. And so
Yes.
the reason I bring it up is because I was talking with my dad yesterday, and my little brother and his wife, granted they've barely been married a year, are already having problems. And
That's not good.
yeah, like normally marriage-wise, these types of problems are like a couple years down the line. They're already having it at the jump. So one of the things I was talking to my dad about was females want attention. And the problem is, depending upon the female, they want attention in the wrong way. And then that's how you get into this tangent of like cheating. Because if most females, like, okay, if let's say, you know, I was about to say you as a man, because, you know, all of you are, like you work 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, and it's finally the weekend and you come home, what's the last fucking thing you want to do?
The last thing I want to do is listen to your bullshit.
Exactly. No, it's truth though, right?
Yes,
it's like
it
the
is.
last thing you want to do is listen to a female nag and want and demand and all of this shit. That's the last thing you want. And so one of the problems that they're having is my little brother, because he's a tow truck driver, will come home, he's absolutely fucking bushed.
Right.
And the first words out of her mouth were, well, can we do it? Do you honestly think that's what he wants? If anything that man wants is to fucking not think for 30 seconds and have a beer.
I was gonna say, give that man a beer.
Exactly. Like, and it's so wild to me because I had this whole dissertation with them. Like when I went for their wedding, I talked to them about it and they were like, oh, we totally understand. And I'm like, how do you go from, I literally hand you the answers to the test.
Right.
And you still fuck it up.
So, okay. I will tell you, as somebody who has been married for over 20 years, the thought process is this. Women the women are wired in the sense that anything that their husband does not near them,
Mhm.
not around them, aside from work, right? Aside from work. So anything that men do separate from them is a threat
Right.
to them. Okay. I mean, I'm sure your brother is one of the most loyal, hardworking guys that there is, and that's really probably all he wants. He's like, look, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna, hang out with the wife. I'm gonna probably drink some beer, maybe relax, maybe have something to eat, maybe I'll just watch some TV. I don't know, whatever that means.
Right. Yeah.
But anything that he does, and sometimes, sometimes it even is work, but anything that he does separate from her, she perceives as a threat. So if he doesn't give her exactly what she thinks she wants the minute they see each other, she now feels like she's being rejected.
Right.
Not understanding that for a guy, knowing I can go home to my wife when I'm done with what I'm doing, that to him is accepting her. So what you're dealing with is brains that are wired differently.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so she's operating in the sense of, okay, I have claimed this man. He is my man. I need to make sure he stays my man. Now, that mindset shifts, but it takes, what it takes is a couple of years into the marriage. Because right now, even a year in, it's still technically dating in her head. It's technically dating.
Right.
Because the marriage doesn't technically begin until you're tired of looking at that other person's face. And you have to find a new reason. You have to find a new reason to love them.
Yeah.
And so that could be literally anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Other than I want to bang you. Okay. It could be literally anything. It could be he brings me coffee. He takes care of the kids when I'm done with them because they're just, whatever. It could literally be, he rubs my feet. It could be literally. It could be he always takes the trash out without me having to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid stuff like that. But you technically have to have this like first reaction of, oh my God, you again, and then find a reason to stay connected. So right now, they're probably still in that honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't registered in her brain yet. And it won't register until he does something that is, for her, I guess would be, for her would be like beyond the pale of what is acceptable. Like, I guarantee you, if he turns her down enough times for sex, she's going to take it personally.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to think he's cheating on me or he doesn't love me, so I'm going to go find somebody that does love me. Right?
Yeah. Welcome to the woman debuff.
Right, thank you. So not understanding that his loyalty and respect is the highest gift that he can give her.
Yeah.
From his perspective of, I've made a decision, I've made a commitment, I do these things away from the house so I can come back to the house and have the same house and the same person.
Yeah.
So right now, that's what's going on. And a lot of people can't wrap their heads around the fact that, don't worry, I'm going to be here. And if I was going to cheat on you, I'm probably too tired to do that.
Oh, yeah. Like, dude, we could go down a whole ass rabbit hole about that one, too. But no, it's just,
Right.
I think it's funny. And this is also going to kind of segue into fucking the major VTubers virtue signaling, because that's been a bug up my ass all fucking week. It's a lot of the feminism that has permeated a lot of the dating space, I think, has corrupted what it means to understand potential partners or potential life partners, I should say. And it's, I don't know, it's incredible to me. Like, one of the things I always joke with my husband, and I said, well, do you ever think, did you get a trad wife or you get a tard wife? And he goes, well, you don't have a hardness, so where does that leave you? Anyway.
Okay. I will freely admit, my marriage, my wife is not a trad wife.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that she's made it abundantly clear. It's like, look, I do I know how to cook and I know how to clean, but I'm not gonna, go overboard and do this shit. And I'm like, you don't have to. I know how to do my own laundry. I know how to separate colors. I know how to, newsflash. I know how to iron. I know how to iron my own shirts. Okay, I can cook. I can follow directions on a box. I can watch a YouTube video, get the ingredients, and make food. It's not hard. Okay, I can do those things.
Right.
And my wife is she's she used to be a single mom, so she's used to having a job and a schedule and structure. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. My wife and I, and we, when it comes to our money and how we have things set up, the bills get paid, but she has her account, I have my account. And we have both agreed, hey, look, as long as bills are paid and the major expenses are met, internet, insurance, car payments, things like that. As long as we pay those things, don't really care what you do with your money. As long as we're doing the things we need to do. And she's like, yeah, great, perfect. And we've never had a problem. But see, that's what she and I have agreed to. Now, I don't know what your brother and his wife have set up. I don't know if she has a job or if he's the only one that works or whatever that means. But but I will say, there is definitely something to the fact of the idea that my wife has a job and she has her own money, and it lends to a different, I guess, it lends to a different power dynamic than if I made a lot more money than she did. Or just the inverse of that, if I made a lot less than my wife made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so in your brother's instance, if he's making the overwhelming majority, like if he's making 80% of the household money, right? There is this underlying kind of unspoken, I guess you call it a tension that his wife has, like, I need to contribute in ways that are valuable, right? And so she will feel like that she has to, control him and rein him in and keep him the way that she thinks he should be, because he makes most of the money. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, but those are the hard conversations that you have to have. Those are the difficult conversations that you have to have as a couple, and they're not fun. They're not romantic. They don't make you feel good, but you definitely have to have them.
What,
and that's
Bill, are you saying communication is a thing?
okay.
But aren't we talking about women?
Oh, yeah, true. Women will, okay. So no, that's funny though.
Unlocked.
Yeah. No, because it's the truth. It's like women, so do you guys remember there's a book, Steve Harvey wrote it. It's called Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. And I got to read a little bit of it because I want to say I found like a little free excerpt in it. And there's so much shit in there that makes complete fucking sense. It's like women are the only fucking creatures on planet Earth who could take something as simple as like, oh man, I don't have, okay, I'll take one of my instances. I'm out of Red Bull. Gee, I don't know what time I'll have time to go get Red Bull. Where can I get it? Do they have my flavor? Is like, you could take something so simple and just absolutely fucking overcomplicate it. It is women debuff. I am telling you. Bill, don't you give me that tone to look.
Oh, okay. And this you're absolutely correct. I honestly think that women crash out over things that things because they can. Now, my wife doesn't crash out over, the kids doing dumb stuff and getting in trouble. Right. She's like kids. But she will crash out about not having the right kind of yarn. I mean, she will like lose her mind over that.
Oh yeah.
And but that's because she safely can do that, right? She may not know it on a conscious level, but on some level she knows I can crash out over this dumb thing, and everything will end up being fine on the other side of it because it's yarn, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, crashing out over stupid things is more of like an emotional crutch because you can. It's like Jay's like, oh, look, it's Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I gotta, I have to walk down to the store and get some more tequila. Jay does that because, he can, but now he's like, oh, wait, I can't drink all of the tequila because I have to work tomorrow, so.
Well, I work from home, so I don't have that problem.
You know what's
Problem solved.
Yeah. You know what's bad is I was going to the store yesterday and I was like, man, you know what? I want like rum or like tequila. I was just like, I'm in a hard liquor kind of mood. And I went to where like all the mixers and stuff are, and I picked up one of them and I was like, oh, this is Jay's brand of mixer. It wasn't on sale either. I was kind of upset. Hey, Jay, at least be grateful that there's still one form of segregation that's left, okay?
And
What's
I'm not like these new blacks who wants to go back to the Jim Crow era and think it's going to be better. It's like white people who think Islam is feminine, is feministic.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's start my two-part crash out today and just get out of the way early enough. I'm really, really, really so over these fucking antis on X, dude. These fucking AI doomers just send me with the, oh, I'm not going to play anything that's related to AI because I have standards. And it's pretty much been every single solitary fucking major VTuber, like Joel, was it Amelie, just came out and said some shit like that, and fucking Lily Pichu. I'm like, you guys, I'll let you guys go first, because like I said, I'm gonna crash the fuck out.
No. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, cool. But yeah, no, we want the crash out. Go for it.
So, okay.
Like how you can't tease us like, no, she can't tease us like that. She can't be like, I'm gonna crash the fuck out, so I'm not gonna do that. Like, no, you have to now.
Okay, so I really wish 90% of these absolute bottom-feeding, scum-sucking, just clout-chasing, get off my fucking lawn fucking VTubers would actually pick up a fucking book, would actually read. Because number one, I'm sorry, majority of you have a blue check mark. Hey, spoiler alert, you're paying for Grok. You are paying for an AI. It is in the terms of service. So don't you even sit there and be on this fucking soapbox, you absolute tard muffins. Like, how are you going to sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to play anything with generative AI or just AI in general? Then you can't play video games ever again, because there is not a single motherfucking developer on planet fucking Earth who is going to code the old-fashioned way. If they do, they're masochistic and retarded to the utmost fucking degree, because you cannot tell me that there is not a single developer that is using AI to expedite and proofread their code. You cannot tell me. If you are one of these people and you are listening to the sound of my voice and you do this, fucking stop hurting yourself. Just use like Claude or fucking Cursor, Windsurf, like any other fucking software that'll actually help you. You could take a 6-month project and do it in like 2 months to a month time. Like, oh my god. And then the fucking people who are like, oh, but the environment, oh my god, the clouds. Okay, tell me about
I was
Flint
looking into
and Ohio. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say I was looking into. I haven't done the full deep dive. I want to because we're so invested in the AI stuff now. But I did a little bit of digging into the water usage. It's so dirty how they count it. Like a brief search is like, oh yeah, 90% of what we're saying the data centers use is from production of chips. Like it's not even. They somehow say data center is causing water usage, and then say that only 10% of what they're counting as water usage from the data centers is actually the data centers. Like, how can you say that's the data centers when you're at the same time saying it's not?
Yes.
So I encourage everybody to go on LinkedIn and TikTok and find this guy, Nate B. Jones. He's a very well read and very well respected person when it comes to AI. And he put out a TikTok about a week and a half ago where he was going over this report. He said, you spend more water, you use more water playing a round of golf than you do using any AI model.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right. And I'm like, thank you, Nate. Thank you. See, I think that what's going on here is that it's just the next stupid thing that people are being manipulated into hating.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And people have been like going over the conspiracies and stuff. Like it's all about control. It's the people who are pushing the anti-AI stuff are probably the ones using it. Like they are trying to solidify their advantage while they build up their fucking super weapons.
Yeah.
So, okay, there's this guy I follow on YouTube, and he pointed this out as a video from earlier in the week. How the guy in charge of policy for Anthropic, how he's pulled the same marketing trick multiple times in his career across a couple different projects. I'll see if I can find the video. But so do you remember when Anthropic announced Mythos? Mythos has this.
Yes.
Oh, we can't release it because it's found all this. It's this horrible, terrible weapon that what the average mind cannot fully comprehend. And blah 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 blah. Right. And then you watch the stock valuation for Anthropic like shoot through the roof, right?
Right.
There is a built-in bottleneck right now for all computing, not just AI, but there's a built-in bottleneck, and it revolves around the actual physical makeup of a chip. Is that it can only process energy and data so fast.
Right.
Now, you can make little tweaks to make it feel like it's more efficient, okay? But energy in the way with the materials we currently have can only move so fast, and we pretty much hit that threshold. So right now, it's not about speed, but it's about capacity.
Right.
Okay, those are two different things. That's why Anthropic signed a deal with. That's why Anthropic signed a deal with xAI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that now Anthropic has access to all of Elon's servers and all of his compute, okay? Because in about 6 months, Sam Altman is going to burn to the ground. Watch it happen. Anyway, so what's going on is that the actual product itself is not growing at the same rate that it has been because we've pretty much hit the cap of what we can do, and it is not a human human restraint. It's an actual physical restraint. We just don't have the materials right now to do it.
Absolutely. It's one of those technological like things that we have to get over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you increase the value of something when it doesn't have the physical capacity to improve at the rate you want it to? You create you create an emotional reason for it, and that's what's happening right now. Is that a lot of what you see going on when it comes to AI, and it's not even artificial intelligence. It's just what we think that AI is just a glorified search engine. That's really all it is.
Oh yeah,
But-
that's what Google
Slightly
is.
more, but yes,
Yeah.
it's not
Right.
real AI yet.
Yeah, it's not AI because it doesn't solve novel problems.
Mhm.
It takes available data, draws some inferences, and then says just enough to get the actual human to go, "Oh, I know what it is," right?
Right.
But what's happening right now is that there's a race for the government's blessing
Mhm.
on AI, right?
Yep.
And so Sam Altman's last gasp to stay afloat with OpenAI is to get the government to go, yes. But he has to get on the other side of this lawsuit.
Mhm.
So right now, the major restraint on AI is processing.
Yep.
It isn't, it is not capacity, it's processing. So all these people that are hating on the data centers, they don't understand what they're hating, because all they know is, I'm going to be angry at the next thing because water.
Yeah, and even with some of the data centers, they're on a closed loop system. Like they're feeding their own water. Hi. I know not a lot of you are PC users, but do you guys know what an AIO is? It's an all-in-one. It's pretty much like
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. Yes, the water cooling loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm that in my PC right though. It's very convenient.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. It's pretty much having water cooling without the maintenance of water cooling. It's really a blessing. But it's like a lot of these data center, like some of I need to like take a breath or I'm gonna have a J moment and like crash out and pass out. So a lot of these data centers are working on a closed loop system. So they have that water that's already there. And even then it's treated water. So it's not necessarily something that's just gonna fucking kill all the millions of sardines and fishes. Like it's a self-contained fucking issue. And then the other thing that really just fucking gets my panties in a wad is it's creating jobs. It's creating fucking jobs. Like, we talked about this years ago, is to make AI its bitch before it makes you its.
Yeah, I said this at least a year ago, probably more, and I will continue to say it. 95% of what it takes to be a productive human in this world can be found online for free.
Yep.
Okay. There are certain fields of study that you have to go to school for. Okay. That's just all there is to it. You could be a mechanical engineer off of YouTube for free.
Yep.
Okay, you just have to understand math, but there are some fields that you literally have to go to school for. Okay. What LLMs have done is not so, there's obviously a learning curve, okay? And it's and that curve it's not necessarily a curve, it's more of a circle where, as you learn, you get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to the goal, where you learn what you need to do to, have a job. Well, what LLMs have done is they have sped up that process.
Yep.
And so I've done this myself. I have created a working app, connected it to a database, which is a server sitting next to me right now in my office, and I did that in about a month. If I did not have an LLM, if I just had to do it off the internet, it would take me a lot longer. If I didn't even have the internet, I couldn't do it. I would have to get somebody to teach me and pay them to teach me. Okay, so I've gone from maybe like multiple years of learning how to 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening right now.
Yep.
That's what's going on. And people who can wrap their brains around, oh, wait, if I ask the right question to this really cool search engine, it can collate all these pieces of information into a coherent mass that I can understand.
Oh, yeah.
And that I don't need to understand everything, but I need to understand what I'm asking, why I'm asking it, and what I want to do with it on the other side of my question.
Oh yeah, and what's nice is how it can elaborate the answers and the responses and the things that are necessary. Like, you know, going into the learning curve of learning how to operate on Linux. Like, I have actually asked it a few times because it's thrown words at me. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? And so I said, just ELI5 it for me. Just do it. Okay, let me put some context, because do you guys know what ELI5 is?
No,
Yes, explain it like I'm 5.
Okay, perfect.
I see. Okay, got it. Okay.
Thank you, Keen. Appreciate you.
Yep.
It
might be I might be prompting right now too in the background.
No, that's fair. But yeah, it's just
No, not for that. I knew that one. I'm just saying I'm also using AI like we're talking about right now in the moment.
nice. Well, I mean, it's a tool, you know, use it. Like, apply it to the things that you're trying to do. And the fucking thing that I really am despising about all these other fucking kids who are being all edgy and shit is it's like, dog, you...
Which
like,
ones do you mean, the antis?
Yeah, the antis. The ones who are like, oh, if you give me a piece of AI, I will find you and kill you.
That was great.
Bill, it is so bad. It's so bad. Go ahead, King.
And the other weirdo who was spinning out about AI being grape.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And never expanded either. Like, people were like, what the fuck are you talking about, buddy? And it's just like, wow, I see you don't have an answer for my argument. Like, he was actually insane or trolling.
I think it's both. I think a lot of these people genuinely, like, Jay, if you want an elevation from K-pop stans to fucking just have like just absolute troll fits on and to speedrun getting blocked, look at all these anti-AI people. You could just sit there and you can, well, number one, you'll develop pattern recognition because you'll see the usual suspects.
I already have pattern recognition.
Oh, same. And I was about to say, Jay, it's a nice change of pace from the usual shit that you have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but I love fucking with the comic book, because like if you're in the comic book, because that now there's this whole thing about like how a black character is like not being used in like a video game or shit, and I'm just fucking with people because it's so funny to me. And I think my favorite thing to follow people on is that for people who do read comic books, right now, if you're an X-Men fan, Storm has a child now, and people, but you don't know who the child's father is. People definitely wanted to be Black Panther, but y'all know it's Wolverine, and I was fucking with people left and right about it, and people were having a fucking conniption about it. It's like, no, that can't happen. I'm like, yes, you need to accept it. And see, here's the thing, you know, and see the thing, my biggest gripe with people like with the anti-AI and K-pop and all that, right, is that they have tied their identity to their fandom. They have tied it wherever they like. You know, whatever they like, whatever they support, they tie their they entire their whole selves into it.
Like Cowboys
And
fans.
so, oh man, unfortunately, and so if someone says, "Hey, I don't like this," if I don't like your fandom, it's like, "Hey, you don't like me," and they take it personally, and it's kind of sad. It's really sad in my opinion because it's like, it's not that deep.
It really
This
isn't,
one's
though. It isn't. Like, hold on, I need to take a breath. The Red Bull's kicking in. Okay. It's not that deep. Like, that's the other thing, like, going back to a lot of these fucking antis. It's like, you guys, like, the one argument they keep regurgitating over and over, like, between Keen and I, we can probably give you, like, at least 20 examples of people saying, well, you're stealing from artists. Which ones?
Hell, I had 20 examples in that same thread.
Exactly. Like, there's, like, they keep saying you're stealing from artists. Which ones? Whomst?
Mhm.
Because
Yep. No.
yeah,
And
go
it
ahead.
is funny because until you like look into it, it is a compelling argument. Like I was never rabidly anti AI like these people, but like if you don't know it, it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, no, it's stealing art. Like I it never bothered me, but that's kind of where I was. Like before I got involved in actually using AI, I was like, yeah, no, that AI art is kind of weird. It's not human art. It is kind of soulless. All that. Like if you don't know, it totally flows like that. Like it makes sense.
So, okay, I think this brings up an interesting point
Mhm.
about what it means to be a creator. Okay, what it means to create something. And it doesn't matter. Could be art. Could be, constructing a house, a car, whatever. Okay. Whenever you make something and then you show it to everybody, it is no longer yours. Because in order for somebody who's a creator of any kind, construction of a house, drawing a picture, building a web app, whatever that means, your validation as a creator is based upon the number of people who interact with it. Therefore, by extension, it's no longer yours, it's theirs. It belongs to everybody who uses it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this is like saying going out in public with other humans and saying, screaming at the top of your lungs, I don't consent to being watched. You're in
Yeah.
public. Right? Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I find VTubers to be really funny that way. They want to be on the internet, but they want you to only see a certain version of them.
I mean, that's
Right.
fine. That's like any other portrayal. And again, like when you're talking VTubers, there are a bunch of terrible ones, but there are also a bunch of great ones. So don't just be like the VTubers. And I'm just kidding. Like it's all
Right.
good.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
No. I 100% get. And see, that's the thing. Whether it's entertainment, whether it's software development, or you make cars, or you make, anything, you are beholden to the user. Because without users, you don't have a product. You just have a thing you made that sits there that doesn't do anything. Right?
Yeah.
And if you're a VTuber, you're in the entertainment business.
Right.
If you're, so your product is entertainment. If enough people are entertained by you, you then have a job because they give you money because they want you to entertain them more. And so it's this weird, it's this really weird dichotomy that's often hard to resolve. And the ones who do resolve it for themselves the best end up being eaten by the machine. But those who can't resolve it end up being eaten by their own narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, right. And so that's, and that's, it's funny because it's that space between being just enough of real, whatever real means right now, and then finding that spot between being real and being what other people want you to be, at any given moment, because there are VTubers like ourselves, like yourselves. You exist to talk and interact. VTubers who exist not even as themselves, they exist as a we've talked about this Jay and General Gravy. Companies create VTubers as characters and create a universe with those VTuber characters and tell stories, and then those people who play the VTubers are beholden to stream so much in a week and so much in a month, and they have to make so much money. They're not actually human anymore. They're just, if you see the average person in public, you wouldn't know, hey, I'm a VTuber, I stream 12 hours a day and blah 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 blah. So, but there are people like the two of you who do it because we do it because that's what we do.
Because it's fun.
Right? It's fun. So there's that space in there, and it's and at any given moment, the Overton window of what is acceptable and what is not is always moving in that space. I just find it to be really fascinating, because I guess what it really boils down to is your perception of reality.
Right.
I know that the two of you, your persona that you put out here, your VTuber avatars, are a sort of a perfected version of yourself that you're putting out there, but when you don't have the avatar on, you're just the average idiot who farts all the time in the wrong places at the wrong time and eats bad food and sleeps in too late, or doesn't sleep enough and decides, what, I'm not going to be around people today, so screw this, I'm not going to shower.
You already said you were VTubers. You can just stop there.
I do that already. What do you mean?
And so it's really interesting to me that people get super pissy about this stuff. Yes, there is a line where it comes to what is actually intellectual property. I do think there was an argument to be had about AI art, because you can only crowdsource an idea so much until it becomes so watered down it's just totally pointless.
Right.
And that's where I think the social contract kind of breaks down. Mm-hmm. Is that people can't wrap their brains around, it's just AI art. It's fun to look at, but it doesn't necessarily have a soul. It doesn't necessarily have that innate. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, this is one of the big things I care about, and I disagree that it does not have a soul. I'm not sure if that's what you were saying or just that the argument, but when you realize just how much human input is going into this, especially if we're talking like longer form videos, because there you need editing and stuff. So much of it, have you done any AI prompting?
So
for art?
For art, not so much. Okay. I do it more for software stuff, but go ahead.
Okay, because the way I've been doing it, which is pretty fun, and it really is a creative process, is a lot of people will use reference images, which is just like regurgitating other art. Like, that is fine. It's a definitely valid way to do things, and you can get really cool results. And again, there is human element even in that, because you're going to shift the style, you're going to blend it. There's art in there too of like, match this with the rest of the scene. You have to know the composition. And then like how I do it is I don't use that. I will write out the character like in exacting detail of what clothes I want them to have, what pose, what mood, what style, and run that through. So I have like 400 to 500 word prompts that will create the character I want. I will put them all together. I have run 4,000 word prompts to build a image with 40 different characters or something. That gets really messy, but I was just doing it as an experiment, and it will come out where it's capturing every character to be recognizable still. But where the human element really does come in is, like I was saying, that's all the vision. Like, people will call that soulless, but whatever that art piece is that came out would not have existed without without my vision or someone else's vision. And I don't even consider myself an expert. You've got people producing songs and putting them to AI music, to AI videos, which just has so much soul and human element. And you're doing the editing and stuff. Like, people are spending 200 hours on a 4-minute music video. You can't say that's not art. Like, there's obviously human interaction there. You're just using AI as a tool to speed up the process, because that would have taken more than 200 hours to get that result if you were going to an animation studio or something like that.
Oh, and
but yeah, it's
and money too.
Yeah.
Money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
which
know
reminds
for
me,
me-
pay the damn artists. Pay the damn artists. Give me money. Don't use AI. Give me money. That's what the argument often does come down to.
Yeah, I know. I know. For me, I do AI prompts when writing stories. Because I do put in prompts, but I find myself having to, like for instance, a story I'm writing now. I'm using Grok to write it, right? And for one prompt, I had to edit like 3 times because it just wasn't where I want it wasn't where exactly I wanted to be, right? And so yeah, it's like, I mean, like, I've written like maybe 6 or 7 stories with AI, and it took me, I think like the one of them took me like 3 months to do, because I had to write a prompt, look at it, I had to edit it to make sure it's like as as where I want it to be. So, and one thing I like about Grok, what it does say, it like, you can actually like kind of like do like you can actually have your AI prompt to have like a little sidebar, so you can add to it on the side without having to like disrupt the next AI prompt. So you can have a prompt within a prompt, and if you think about it, and I like that because it allows me to add in context, add in like specific references. It asks me to add more details and stuff like that. So yeah, AI is a creative process, and and yeah, it could be very draining though, because AI is still in its infant stage, and it malfunctions. It malfunctions more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just interesting to think about, like, AI being in its infant stage, because I'm not sure, like, because I just kind of realized it today, Gravy, but like, we're nobodies, but we are in at the ground floor. Like, there is interesting potential here, and like we are above average. I need to work on.
But right now, the issue is because it's so new, because this entire world is so new, we don't know how to classify it yet.
Yeah.
And so you have so many people that are trying to pass off AI as real that the average human has now sort of like become jaded and then has defaulted to AI is crap. It isn't real art. When in reality, if people understood what it took to put together some of these images, and I've seen your images, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just writing that out would take a good 45 minutes. Just trying to and even writing at the first draft, and then you hit go, and it spends 20 minutes creating, and you're like, shit, that's not right. You have to rewrite the whole damn thing, right? And so there's a skill set that is very nebulous that the overwhelming majority of people don't have and can't wrap their brains around right now, of talking to an AI, talking to an LLM, and getting the LLM to do what you want it to do.
Yes, but it's also not just a skill. You do need, like, it's not just a learned skill about talking to the AI. You do also need like a good eye. So there is a human and artistic element there too. Yes. But yeah, no, it's definitely its own thing. But I think the AI is AI art conversation is very fascinating, and I think I'm one of, like, not personally, but being part of the community I am in, I am one of the best people around actually to kind of answer that. And the answer is that it doesn't really matter, because it's giving people that same creative outlet. Like it is helping people who have not gone to school and learned to draw and animate. Like I said, it's just speeding up the entire process. So
It's the
whether or
same,
not
yep.
you think the final result is art, you're producing things that look like art that would not have existed without AI, and this is coming from people who would not have produced that with AI. So it's kind of to your house example. You mentioned like building a house. Like who has more say in what the house looks like, the architect or the carpenters? Like, so the people arguing against AI art are saying that like the carpenters are the ones who build the house, or sorry, create the house, design that. Like they're saying that's where it's coming from, basically, because they're like, we'll just pick up a pencil, we'll just pick up a hammer, get out there and do the actual construction. It's like,
Right.
well, no, you can also be the one doing the designing. You can be
Right.
the architect. You don't have to be the carpenter.
Right.
Right. See, okay, so I know very well when it comes to the apps I've created, I am not on the level. So I have a friend. He's created not just an app, but like an overall like payment management system that
Mhm.
he's gonna sell to. So he's created this like ethical payment management system, and he's an incredibly talented coder, incredibly talented. He's tried to teach me a few things, and it just hasn't landed. So he's gonna sell this software system for millions of dollars. And believe me, I've seen it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is worth millions. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm gonna sell it soon. I'm like,
Nice.
I hope you get millions for it. I really do. It's amazing. I'm not on his level. There is zero chance I will ever be at his level. But I've created a working app that I have actual human beings using right at this exact second. Now, I'm not him, okay?
Mhm.
But AI, Claude and all this sort of stuff has now opened a door to me. Now I'm like, oh, I can do this, but now I have
Yes.
to do it. But now I have to do it very strategically. I can't just type random words into a. I can't type random words into an instance, because I'm starting to realize if I'm more efficient about my inputs and more structured, if I sit down and don't just like shoot from the top of my head, but actually write out my structure and write out my processes, I can be more efficient and get more done faster.
Right.
So my friend, who is insanely talented, believe, I'm not kidding when I tell you this guy is insanely talented.
Mhm.
But I'm never going to be equal to him, ever. Okay, but he also doesn't look down on me for just trying to learn something and be better. He's
Yeah,
gonna Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, you might not be him, but because you are embracing the new tools faster than other people, probably, you are probably now 99% closer to him than anyone else.
Exactly. I'm not him, but he's in that like 1% of the 1% of the world, right?
Right.
He's in that tiny group at the very top of the pyramid where he can I developed a SaaS product and sold it for, $25 million. I did that. No, not him by himself. I was the guy in charge. I had the vision. I had the plan. I did we did all this stuff.
Right.
But what I've done by just having a little bit of courage and not being afraid to fail, I've kind of stepped into that space of, look what I've done. And he's actually been very helpful. He's like, hey, when you're doing this, I want you to think about this concept. And I'm like, oh, go on. And he gave me 3 or 4 things. And then I've done a bunch of research like, oh, I love that idea. And now I've expanded my own thought process of, okay, taking this concept, how do I make it work? And I spend a lot of time writing things out, drawing pictures on a piece of paper. And now I'm going to create a better product by doing these concepts. In that vein, Keen, what you're talking about when it comes to AI art, you're not just on the leading edge, you're on the bleeding edge of being able to communicate properly with a model. Okay? Not only are you drawing more out of the model, you're feeding more into the model of, oh, people are asking this, so the people who develop the model are like, we need more context around these ideas. Because these ideas, these prompts, these words seem to have a compounding effect over time on the model. And so when you do those sorts of things, people like yourself, yes, you are on that bleeding edge. It's going to make the model better in 5 years' time.
Well, with the speed of AI, it's going to do it in like 6 months or something. Like the evolution, which was the other thing I was going to talk about, not just the tools themselves evolving, but like you were talking about our skills, because this is so new, like very simple tips you or I have not thought of. So you and your coding, or me and my art. It's like I've also gotten coaching from some of the top people in the field, like because of how this group works. Like I've talked to some of these people, and so yeah, they'll throw some stuff out there. And they don't even have to be top level people too, though, because we're each going about it our own ways. And it's so new, we don't all have this locked in. So you can talk to someone who's doing amazing work. You can talk to someone who's doing top 0.1% work. They'll say something very basic, and you're like, oh yeah, I can work that into my workflow. I'm gonna focus more on this thing or this thing or this thing, and it'll totally change your results.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what's going on right now is, with the people who are anti, is that I honestly believe what we're capturing in this moment is not that AI is bad. It's the fear of change. It's the fear of, oh my God, everything I've done at this point is now completely worthless, and I have to recalibrate my entire mindset. The overwhelming majority of people can't do that.
Yes, and I think another concept that plays a part here is just the cultural thing, because a lot of the antis are so-called artists, and they are terrified of losing the power they've had via their art over society. Like if we're talking Hollywood, we're talking, just weirdos in general who are pushing a specific message through their art, and because art is compelling. So opening the doorway to a new subset of people who aren't the kind of people who go to art school, but who are the people who have creative ideas, because everyone does to some extent. But they were doing their 9 to 5 or their tow truck driving or whatever. They're grinding. They didn't do art school, but now if they embrace AI, they can put their vision out there too. And the people who monopolized art do not want that. Like that is absolutely terrifying as well.
Yes.
So speaking of monopolizing time, unfortunately, gentlemen, we are out of it today. I know, we were having fun.
For some time, I don't even know if the recording was working, so we should add time onto this.
Don't get over it. You are poisonous. Jesus Christ.
Wow, Jay, are you okay, buddy?
Nah, man. I just not because it's it's like you started, then I forgot you was talking about. Then I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on?
The other reason I'm also wrapping it up is because Keen has another date. So
no, it's an hour or right now. Yes, actually, at least 3 or 4 timing. Sorry, guys.
You whore.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Okay, well, I also have something to do. That's why I'm like,
fine.
Look,
does it involve busting your ass outside?
Yeah, actually, I do have to go outside and touch grass, both literally and hypothetically.
Be very careful. That is dangerous for VTubers.
Oh, dude, that is dangerous. Yeah.
There's video evidence of that.
There is.
Mhm. Watch out for Florida, man.
You shut your filthy whore mouth, don't you?
I think next time we should definitely dive more into this whole AI art and creation vibe. I honestly think there's a lot there to go through. So
I do too.
Oh, absolutely. Again, that like it's completely an unexplored space because it's so new. That's yeah.
Yeah.
In both ways.
And on top of that, Keen, we gotta find a way to get you more involved with it. I mean, you're obviously passionate about this, but see, I know what I've done this with Jay and General Gravy enough to know what actually triggers them, but I need to figure out what triggers you so that we can get those out of you. So
I'll be a
All right.
Fucking boomer logic.
Now listen here.
Now you was here, motherfucker.
All right. So it sounds like we're done though.
Yeah, so
Get us out.
catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
All right,